The relationship between the big football clubs and their fans worldwide will be increasingly digital, just because it can only be digital. Our ability to segment and our ability to present slightly different content, slightly different relationship to different fans around the world will determine the future finances of those medium-sized businesses that I believe have the capability to grow significantly from the sort of 200-300 million turnover territory that they're in now to closer to $1 billion. 2 years ago, I perceived that one of the core components of our service, namely hosting, was not really in keeping with the way that the rest of the business was growing. And what I mean by that is that it was essentially inflexible. And it being essentially inflexible and us moving very quickly was not a happy combination. And it had a bunch of other side effects, like, for example, it was expensive. Like, it didn't give us an obvious growth path in terms of how to deliver the next phase of our capability. We wanted to find a company that was developing at perhaps the same level as we were, which was smaller, more reactive, and so on. So we did that simply because I think it's good business practice anyway, but we also wanted to make sure that we got fresh thinking rather than perhaps finding an alternative supplier that was a little bit cheaper or a little bit more flexible, but essentially with the same challenges as the supplier we had previously. The way that union people interact with us is really the core advantage, and it's the one that I would put forward as, if somebody else asked me why would I want to work with these people, it will be that. I like the way that we're structured. Yes, we do have a contract, but also if I wanted to move, I wouldn't have a whole bunch of rules to obey and a whole bunch of exclusions and a whole bunch of, if you did this, it will be very risky for your business, which is pretty much what I got from my previous supplier when I informed them that I wished to examine the possibility of moving. It was all, you mustn't do that, and that's going to be a very big risk for your business, and it could all go very wrong. And I'm getting exactly the opposite from Union, which is that we're here to do a good job, and if at any time we don't do a good job and you want to change your service, it's literally a flick of the switch for you to go to another utility provider. So Union have something called the Competitive Edge Framework. I'm not really that interested in what it's called. I can tell you, however, that it's a sensible, grown-up means of doing a before and after, one that doesn't ignore aspects of the process that are vital, like not just technical but also structural and behavioural changes that the conversion from non-cloud to cloud will bring to an organisation. And I think Union are brave to tackle some of those things, because that's actually where the impediment almost always lie. But it's better to tackle them in an advanced stage and to address all the issues, rather than approach this purely from an IT perspective and have the proposition fall down when it goes to the board or when it goes to non-IT decision makers. So I think being able to do a complete assessment of the before and after is a challenge, because it's harder to do, but it's a huge benefit, because as soon as you've done it, you can show all the soft benefits as well as all the slightly boring IT benefits. So in our terms, our relationship with Union means that we not only have a more efficient capability, which means it costs us less money, but we have a much more flexible one, which allows us to do things faster and with less cost than other people, which gives us a commercial advantage, which wins us more work, which allows us to generate more demand, which we are not having to pay a huge amount of money for.